All right, according to Scott Ehrlich, writer for The Federalist, the GOP came up with a bill that managed to get no bipartisan support, executed no part of their own party, writing it in secret without members even fully understanding it, then rushing to pass it shows a tone deafness unlike any since Alanis Morissette. That's a clip from Scott's latest article. Scott, thanks for joining us here.
Thanks for having me.
What can you tell us about the situation, where the bill stands, where healthcare stands, and the road forward?
Well, I mean, I can tell you what I think the road forward should be. Where it stands right now is basically status quo. We have Obamacare, we have the exchanges set up. They're flailing. You're going to have more healthy people pull out, as has been happening. You're going to have less consumer choice in each state, as has been happening. I would think that insurers, even with the failure of this bill and some of Trump's statement that we're kind of stuck with ACA, are still going to be gun shy, that it's going to be repealed. They're losing money right and left on the exchanges, so I think you're going to see them either pulling out or raising rates again, which will put us much closer towards that dreaded death spiral. As to where we're going, it's hard for me to know. You hear the Republicans basically say this was our one chance to repeal Obamacare, and that kind of makes me wonder, since last I checked, you're going to have Trump in the White House till 2021. You're going to have Republicans running Congress till at least 2019. So why this has, putting together a hastily made bill that no one really liked. I think I saw it had something like a 19% approval rating for this bill when they were debating it. That satisfied no one is kind of the one shot they feel they had to do it, and why they haven't looked at other options. And that's kind of what I wrote about in my article that was on the Federalist.
Well, when this thing fell apart, everybody acknowledged that it wasn't handled, in the best way. But there seems to be no consensus on who to place the blame on, or at least the majority of that blame. Do you think that the president did all he could? Do you think the speaker did all he could? Who do you think dropped the ball here?
Well, I think whoever decided this was the way forward dropped the ball. The problem wasn't that they didn't have the votes to pass it. It was the entire strategy that I don't think made sense. I mean, you're talking about you quoted from my article, and that's exactly what people hated about Obamacare when it was passed the first time. You had a bill cobbled together that satisfied no one, really, that was done in secret, that was kind of put through by some backroom deals, and now the Republicans apparently have learned nothing, try to do it exactly the same way, instead of either having an open, honest discussion with a lot of hearings and a lot of things as to how we could put together a good replacement plan, or doing what, in my opinion, they really just should have done, and just passed essentially what they did back in, I believe it was 2015, and just a straight repeal bill, and then had these conversations. I think that's what I stressed in my article, which is that if you repeal Obamacare, there's going to be fallout. I mean, there's going to be political fallout, and that's what all these guys are afraid of. But right now, I don't see what exactly they've accomplished. All they've done is ticked off conservatives because they've shown that now that they've elected Republicans and given them the legislative and executive branch of government, they still can't come through on the promises that they made to just repeal Obamacare. And yet, it's not like they were able to get any Democratic support, or any liberals are going to be cheering them or supporting them because they didn't repeal Obamacare, or because their bill that they put forward wasn't a complete repeal of Obamacare. So they hit neither end of it, and are going to suffer, I think, even worse than they would have had they just repealed it.
Yeah, I think this thing being rushed through, when that was a big complaint in 2009 and 2010 that Obamacare had been rushed through, really kind of send some people the wrong message.
Well, you got to remember, we say it was rushed through. It was debated for about 9 months, if I recall. You remember Obama's summit, and I believe it was there. Cantor dropped the big bill. But the actual bill, it was Nancy Pelosi's. We got to pass it, see what's in it, which that Republican congressman basically, echoed the other day. I forgot. It was one from New York, which showing they learned nothing. So it wasn't even that they rushed it through. It's they didn't even really discuss what should be in it, what should be in the plan, and that's what I understand is if you repeal it, then you've changed the status quo. You've made it so that Obamacare is no longer the law of the land, whether you make that effective immediately or delay it to try to save you some political consequences of it, as I argue in my article.
Right.
But then you almost Democrats in some ways almost have to come to the table because it's not there anymore, and they can and they would harp on how the Republicans are letting people die in the streets by getting rid of this bill. But if you're a Republican, you should say, okay, it's gone. Now we have to deal with it as it is, which is it's not here anymore. If people are dying in the streets, let's pass a replacement that will stop this plan, and whether that's tax credits, whether that's community rating, whether that's whatever it may be. And some things I support, some things I don't. But you're basically putting the Democrats in a situation where if they oppose everything, as seems to be their mandate as of right now, then they're complicit in all the things that they're accusing the Republicans done in that case, because Obamacare is failing. These exchanges are going to crash. They just can't support things going forward anyway, because deductibles too high. People have insurance they can't use. People are dropping out right and left. Insurance companies dropping out right and left. So we have to come up with something different. And I don't think it's really fixable. They keep saying, repair it, don't replace it. But the crux of it, the exchanges, is not fixable. So if you basically force people to start over and do what I said, which is instead of trying to pass this ridiculous Rube Goldberg-like comprehensive bill, just throw out parts and say, all right, if tax credits are what we want to do, let's vote on tax credits. If insurance for people under 26 staying on their parents' plan is what we want to do, let's vote on that. And just take these little popular bits and pieces and vote on them one by one, and basically dare the Democrats to unilaterally oppose that. And then again, you can message them the same way the Republicans did, which is, you voted for this stuff. This is what you guys campaigned on, was how great these things are. And now that we're the ones pitching them, now you won't vote for them. So then it looks like sheer partisan politics, and it kind of turns the argument on its head, while still fulfilling the promise to conservatives that you repealed Obamacare.
Right. Well, it's gonna be interesting, however it plays out, and we'll keep looking at that. Where can people find more from you, Scott?
Sure, I'm going to be writing a few more articles on the Federalist as to what people can do to actually provide health care, since this is health insurance, not health care. I'm also welcome to come to our conferences, www.dtcperspectives.com. We talk a lot about health policy and healthcare marketing.
Great. Scott Ehrlich, thanks so much for joining us here on Trending Today USA.